welcome to my first devlog. But first, as you can see, it's a top-down turn-based strategy game in which you need to conquer other player styles in order to win. To conquer an enemy tile, your facing side must have more damage than your enemies. After that, you can claim that tile as yours. Of course, there's more to that, but we'll get into other mechanics later on. So, where did it all started? Firstly, when I was crafting my first ever prototype, which you can see in the video, my main goal was to get all the core gameplay working, because that's what prototyping is all about. It's getting the most important things before doing the rest and see if it works out. And it did. It was actually easier than I thought, so after some work, I got it all working quite nicely. So, when I got main mechanics out of the way, I started to work on the match logic, like setting up the timers, who moves when, and so on. I made a huge mistake by rushing everything too fast because of my casual programming hype, so our first iteration was not the best, I would say. What I mean by that is that I hard-coded my players into the script instead of making them as separate objects, so I had some trouble later on when I tried to implement my game for more than 2 players. But I got that sorted out of the way, and now it's more flexible than ever. So that's nice. Then I started to work with the visuals. I figured for a game like this, a sci-fi look would be the most easiest solution to do. So I went with the Tron-like style, and so far it looks quite nice in my opinion. The biggest struggle was to set up on how my playstyle border colors would lerp, but when I got it working, it looked pretty cool. I then went on to create an AI for my game, because battling myself was quite boring, so I developed a quite playable AI which basically picked the most weakest tile on the board and attacked it. However, the current iteration has way more smarter AI than it had before, and with less lines of code, which I'm always more happy about. This iteration AI uses our reward system and basically scans through every option and mechanic that he can use possible to pick the best solution. I'm still working on the right formula for the reward system, but right now it gets the job done way better than the previous iteration. Oh yeah, about other mechanics, I added these things called modifiers, which basically modifies an empty tile and gives it some sort of a buff to spice up the gameplay. For example, there's a modifier that doubles your damage, or swaps the damage clockwise. If you have any modifier ideas that I could add, feel free to leave a comment down below. There's also another attack mechanic, which I haven't talked about yet. Basically, if you do twice the damage to an enemy tile, you will trigger a chain effect, which basically attacks all the other enemy tile neighbors until there's none, or doesn't meet the requirements for a tile to get conquered, which is to have less damage than the attacking tile. So that can lead to some pretty sick plays. Since I made a pretty flexible match system, I can create custom matches with various different parameters, and that leads to campaign. I have some cool ideas for it, but I'll keep them a secret for now, since I don't want to promise anything over the top, but trust me, it's gonna be pretty cool. My plans as of now are to polish the game a bit more, like making the user experience better, which is already quite viable, but I need some working to do at the end of the match. Then I'll read about some networking, because I really want to integrate multiplayer, which will be super fun to play with friends. But there's a slight problem. I only know the theory behind how internet works, but I don't really know how to implement everything with Unity. So I really hope I can learn something on the internet about this topic. That will be it for this devlog. I hope you enjoyed watching it. If you have any suggestions on how can I improve it, or any feedback on my game project, feel free to share it down in the comments below. This was Ataga, and I look forward on seeing you in the next devlog. Bye bye.
止まれ時よ